Hello again, my name is David Watts from Lenovo Press, and I have with me today Harsh Banwait. Harsh is the Worldwide SMB Product Manager. How are you doing, Harsh?
I'm doing good, how are you?
Very good. So today we're going to be talking about the ThinkSystem ST50. This is our new single socket tower system aimed at the entry market, right?
That's correct. So this is the first server that a small to medium business would have for basic file and print functionalities, or a near site data backup, or even some remote offices. So this is a very flexible system depending on if you want it as your first system or if you want something of a higher config. We offer a variety of configurations for anybody who wants from a small customer to kind of some a little bit more sophisticated as well.
Yeah, so not just a desktop system, This is server grade system.
That's correct. It has enterprise level capabilities that we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, this is something that somebody who wants their first system would really appreciate.
Proper server, yeah, very good.
So David, as I mentioned, this is a follow-on to the TS150, which was one of the most popular tower servers in the market, not just for Lenovo, but in the market. And what we've done is kept the same form factor, but made it even quieter. So the TS150 in its richest configuration was about 23 decibels. This has been brought down to 19 decibels, which puts it in the kind of ballpark of a recording studio.
Right.
And when you're in a small office space, you don't want this thing to be big and loud. You want it to be unobtrusive. You want it to be kind of conspicuous in a corner that just helps you get your work done.
So in this video, we're going to go through the front of the components, front of the system, the back, and we'll look inside as well. All right. So at the front, it's a fairly simple system. One media bay for an optical drive.
Yeah, optical drive, tape drive, anything. Some of our customers really appreciate having that functionality if they've got disks that they'd like to use or burn onto this. We give them the option. But if you just want to have an HDD in there, we offer a conversion kit that you can use to have it as a fourth drive bay.
Tape as well, right? So
that's correct.
Local backup, for example, backups are always important. If you don't want to have to deal with the expense or the effort of backing up to the cloud, you can have a local backup facility instead. Two USB ports. These are USB
3.1 Gen 1.
Right, so they're 5 gig, right? Okay, two of those. And over here, power button and power control there. A fairly straightforward system. Now let's spin around and have a look at the back. Now, two power supply options. This one has the
250 watts.
Right,
and then it also comes up with a 400 watts power supply in case you're using graphic intense applications and have a GPU in there.
Yes, this system supports GPUs. We'll talk about that in a moment. So this is a fixed power supply, standard serial port, two display port connections.
That's correct.
For the onboard video. These are 4K video ports, so high definition there. And four USB ports.
Yes, two of them are again USB 3.1 Gen 1, and then two of them are USB 2.0.
And then a standard Ethernet port as well, gigabit Ethernet.
Correct. 1 gigabit Ethernet.
And then three PCIe slots. You'll see there's four connectors there, but it's the top three are the ones that are the slots. The bottom slot cover is just a blank.
That's correct.
Versatile system with three slots.
That's correct. So while we're back here, I also want to talk about a little bit about the security features of this system, because as we mentioned, this system might be placed in a retail environment where there's a lot of high traffic, or it's placed under a desk, and you just want this system to be secure because it has a lot of your files. And then we've have a lot of kind of software as well as hardware features on this that make the system secure. While we're back here, the first thing I want to talk about is this cable lock slot, where you can actually just have a traditional cable, something like your bike chain, where it bolts it down to either a desk leg or kind of near a wall. You can bolt it down. There's a padlock, which just prevents the side from being open, which prevents the system from being open. But we'll look inside. Even if the system is opened, anytime the system gets open, you have the option to get an
the intrusion
kit. The intrusion kit, which logs every time a system is open. Every time the side is open, it lets you know. Even if the system is off, it lets you know that the system was tampered with, and then you know that if it was expected or if it was something that you want to look into.
Okay. I failed to mention the audio port.
That's correct. It works with Windows 10.
Right. Yes. Just as an aside, Okay, so those are the components of the back. Let's flip it on side and open it up. It's easy to open with two thumb screws. No tools needed?
Yeah, so again, this is targeted at that SMB customer who might not have a dedicated team of IT professionals or might not even have all the tools that they need to operate a system. So we want to make it as easy as possible for them to kind of work around the system. But let's have a look inside.
Let's look at the drive configuration. You mentioned that the server supports up to 4 hard drives.
That's correct.
So let's look at those. So there's 1, 2, 3 dedicated hard drive bays.
That's correct.
The media bay at the top here, variety of combinations. It's supported. You can have just a traditional DVD optical drive, DVD ROM or DVD read-write, as you wish. Or the server also supports a combination slimline optical drive and hard drive bay.
That's correct. And these hard drive bays, they are not just HDDs. You can have 2.5-inch SSDs as well for some of your hot data, depending on if you're looking at data storage for the long term or if you're looking at easy access data. And then this is kind of a pre-production model, but the production model also comes out along with a blue tray that lets you slide out the drives easily.
Each of the drives will have a blue plastic frame around it that makes it very easy to pop the drives out without having to fiddle with screws or anything like that. So easy to access these drives.
And while we're at storage, I also want to talk about this SD card module that we have over here.
Just here.
Because sometimes our customers want this to load up light OS systems like a hypervisor, and then they want this option where they want to keep the drives for storage and want something on the side to load up the operating system. So we have that option as well.
Now, in addition, more options again. If you, the standard configuration is using this onboard SATA ports to drive the drives, but you can also use a RAID card if you wanted more advanced RAID. Perhaps you want a RAID adapter with some cache to do more efficient, more advanced RAID 5, for example, across 4 drives with a hot spare. Then we support RAID adapters to do that. And if the adapter you picked includes cache, a power module for the cache as a backup mechanism, that cache module would go here. It's a power module, call it a super cap. Because it's actually a supercapacitor, not a battery, but effectively functions like that. And that means that even if the system loses power in the middle of a write operation, the power module will ensure that the write is completed. It's the supercap will retain power to the adapter, so that once power is restored to the system, then those write operations can be completed to the drives. So this is another example of enterprise-level functionality, even in an entry system.
Absolutely. And speaking of enterprise-level functionality, I also want to highlight the memory DIMMs that we have over here. So this system supports up to 4 DDR4, 2666 megahertz memory DIMMs, and these are ECC memory DIMMs. So they are, again, enterprise-level memory DIMMs that provide memory protection as well.
So, for example, if you had the 16 gig DIMMs, then this server would have up to 64 gig of memory.
Absolutely.
So quite a powerful system there. Now, of course, processors, this system supports the new Intel Xeon E2100 series processors, right?
Up to 6 cores and 95 watts. So it's, again, you can have it as a base configuration, or you can scale up to an enterprise level system, whatever you want.
These are the processors formerly known as Coffee Lake, and the server also supports the other Coffee Lake processors, the Core i3,
That's correct,
the Pentium, and the Celeron processors in that same family. So a variety of processor options based on the workload that you need. Now, the server also has 3 PCIe slots, as we mentioned. So this is a by 16. This is a by 1, and this one's a by 4 with a by 16 physical connector.
Absolutely.
So it's a variety of connections there. The server supports Ethernet adapters, so 1 gig or 10 gig. It supports external RAID, external SAS adapters, and GPUs, right?
Absolutely, yes. So this, for light graphic intense work, you can have, for example, an NVIDIA P620 GPU in here, and then you can have the higher power supply option as well. So depending on your workload, as you mentioned, this kind of is a base system, but depending on your workload, you can scale up or down as you need.
All right. I'll point out just a few other things. There's the SATA ports that we mentioned earlier for the drives and the optical drive. There is also USB there for the RDX tape drive. It's a USB attach. And there's other power connections and so on. But that's basically the system, I think, right?
Yes,
I think that's pretty much all
it.
covered. So if you're looking for more information about this system, we do have a product guide which will go into all the technical details about every part of the system, pictures and so on. I'll put the link for that in the description for the video, so you can check that out.
And then you can also visit our executive briefing center, which is what we're in right now.
We're shooting this video in the briefing center. Yep.
Yeah, and this is just one of three. So we've got, this is Morrisville, North Carolina, in our U.S. headquarters. We've also got one in Stuttgart, Germany, as well as one in Beijing, China. So in case you're a customer or your partner that just wants to showcase our systems, talk to the engineers about how these are built, what are the options, what are the workloads, anything that you want to talk to us about, please feel free to visit. We're always here to welcome you.
Customers, please contact your Lenovo rep and arrange a visit and come and talk to the engineers that are here. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, so there you have it. Harsh, thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.
Hope you found the video useful, and we'll see you later. Bye.